Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Leisha Gogan if you are new, and if you are new, don't forget to subscribe for new videos every single week. Today we have a fun video. I want to talk about 10 healthy habits that you need to start forming right now during winter, if you're watching this during winter, so that you can glow up for summer. And I recently posted a video on my channel regarding this topic of how your glow up really starts right now. It doesn't start 3 weeks before summer. It doesn't start 24 hours before you want to go out and have a great glowy summer. It really starts now. You need to start planting the seeds that are really going to make you flourish right before summer. Now, on this channel, do we only live for summer? Do we only care about glowing up for summer? No. We want to be well, we want to be healthy right now. These are things that are absolutely going to increase the quality of our lives. But if we are talking about prepping for summer, it starts now. So I want to talk about 10 things that I am currently doing, why I'm doing these things. Definitely don't feel like you have to incorporate all 10 things all at once. These are things that I have built over time, but these are things that not only are making me feel so good about myself, so healthy, so well, so ready just to conquer even winter, but I just know the more times that I spend time pouring into myself through these habits, I am only just going to glow even more when the summer comes. The first healthy habit that you are going to start forming is self-concept journaling, specifically, hopefully in the morning, but whenever you get the time. Now, what is self-concept journaling? So I have a little definition here of what self-concept is so you can really understand it, and I'm going to give you an example of how I journal and work on my self-concept, but it says self-concept is the perception that we have of ourselves, our answer when we ask ourselves the question of who am I? It is knowing about one's tendencies, one's thoughts, one's preferences and habits, hobbies, skills, and areas of weakness. Now, unfortunately, we tend to have a low self-concept in life, and you can think about this in terms of, let's say, your appearance or your ability to create success or your ability to get the things that you truly want in your life. Sometimes we have thoughts deep down about ourselves that we're not good enough, that we're not pretty enough, or that we have to have all these prerequisites before we can get our dream job, or we're just not good enough for the job that we want or the relationship that we want or the life that we want. And the best thing that you can do for yourself is to work on the beliefs that you hold about yourself in relation to other things in your life, but also just your worldview. Because the truth is, if you don't feel good enough about yourself, if you feel like you are not worthy, you can't get what you want in your life, when you wake up in the morning, your actions are going to manifest from this place of a low self-worth, and that doesn't tend to get you better things in your life. So if you feel like you're a failure and you're not smart enough and you can't do it, when you wake up and maybe you have that dream of becoming a YouTuber or a podcaster, or maybe you have a really big exam for school, you aren't going to push yourself to try. You are not going to be consistent with something. You're going to drop everything as soon as you feel like nothing is working. But if you have a self-belief and a self-concept of, I can get through hard things, I am resilient, I can always find a way, I can find answers, even if I don't know a subject, I am a good learner, I can adapt, I can understand things. Even when it comes to relationships, okay, maybe I don't think that I'm the most perfect person right now, but I don't need to be. I don't need to be a perfect person in order to get love into my life. I don't need to look picture perfect in order for somebody to love me. And the more times you have this belief about yourself and the world, you will take actions through this belief system. You will go out in life and continue trying to date. You won't be so intimidated by a no or by rejection. And when we want good things in our lives, whether that be success or relationships or anything, money, anything, we need to persist. We need to be consistent. We need to keep trying. Life is not always handed to us. Life is not always easy. We need to get up and we need to try, and we need to have that belief within ourselves. And you can have friends and family or me online tell you, you're great, just do it, that's amazing, but you really want to build that muscle within your own self. So every single day, you have this natural inclination to keep going and trying and doing and getting yourself through some hard times. So self-concept journaling is really just this. Wake up in the morning and you think about the highest version of yourself the job that you have, the relationship that you have, the success that you have, and you write from that perspective. So I'll give you some examples. I am an amazing podcaster with a huge audience of women who come to me for advice and guidance, and I'm a good impact and influence on other people. I am successful in my career. I am making a certain amount of money every single month. I am deeply valuable as a friend, as a partner, as a family member. People love me for me. They like my flaws. They like my imperfections. They like the fact that I am different than other people. I am highly favorable. I am unique. Nobody can take anything from me. There is enough to go around. There's so many opportunities. Even when I see somebody who is successful, it only just means that I can be successful as well. Really working on telling yourself a new story about something that you probably hold within you that is negative. Because at the end of the day, if you have a negative self-concept, if you have a negative view on life, where is that going to take you? Because at the end of the day, our actions are based off what we believe about ourselves and the world. If we think that we are not attractive enough to pull a really good looking guy, we're not gonna go walk up to him and go have a conversation. Why? Because we believe that we are not pretty. But who is to say that this guy likes these type of girls when really you might be their type? And not only that, maybe he really likes your personality because you're actually really amazing and you have a great heart. These are things that you need to start telling yourself, because you know why? I can guarantee you a lot of these things are actually true about you. A lot of our insecurities come from outside sources. Unfortunately, we live in a day and age where there's always people's preferences and wants and needs just flooding our minds. And realistically, you are a good person. You are an amazing person, quite frankly. You work on yourself. You commit to yourself. You admit that you have flaws. You admit that there's things that you're insecure about. But guess what? You're sitting here watching this video bettering yourself. So do not underestimate the fact that you are an amazing person. And all you need to do for yourself, because you deserve it, is to rebuild your self-worth after losing it for many years. And most likely, it is not your fault that you have lost it. Now, I think I'm gonna do a whole podcast episode regarding self-concept in the new year. And if you guys don't know, I have a podcast, the Glow Up Secrets podcast. You can find that on YouTube, but you can also just listen to it on Spotify or Apple. And I'm gonna dive more deep into that subject. So definitely subscribe and keep up to date with that episode. But one more thing. I have my book coming out, The Ultimate Glow Up Guide, and it actually got pushed to January 30th. It is now getting released on that date instead of the 9th, and I have posted it everywhere. So please bear with me if you've pre-ordered, you're still getting the book, don't worry. But when you pre-order the book, you'll be able to get a free shadow work journal prompt guide, which I made. And this guide is great for getting to the root of your insecurities and the beliefs that you hold about yourself, and prompts in which that you can work on speaking to yourself in a more loving and kind way. So if you're going to purchase my book anyways, I would highly suggest pre-ordering it so that way you can get that journal guide, and that can definitely be a great start. All right, next thing, and I've already ranted for so long. Sleep is so important for so many things. It's important for recovery if you're at the gym and if you're putting in a lot of work at the gym. It's important for your energy levels in the morning so that you can go out and become successful and get your dream job or work on your business or work on school, which again, these are the things that we want in our lives that are gonna make us feel more glowed up, of course. It also helps us with hormonal balancing. It helps us with just our moods and really just being able to be present in life. So what I do is 1 hour before I go to bed, I am starting to wind down. I am sending signals to my brain, to my body, that it is time to go to sleep. So for me personally, I'm making sure that my lamps are being more dimmed. I'm turning off any harsh lights. And even if I go on my phone, I'm making sure that the brightness is all the way down and that it's on night mode. I also like doing this thing, and it's kind of more on TikTok, but it's called closing shift, where you do a little like 10 to 15 tidy of your place. So whether that be your room, your kitchen, your entire place, I like to do my dishes and make sure that everything is nice and clean and organized for me in the morning. I also like to set up my room and put my humidifier on. I make sure to have nighttime meditation music playing in the background. Also, to optimize my sleep, I have been taking magnesium. So I've been making the Sleepy Girl cocktail where you add cranberry juice and magnesium. And I don't know if there's something else they're supposed to add in there. And you're supposed to have tart cherry juice, but I just use cranberry juice because that's the one that I got. And then you add in magnesium magnesium powder. Right now I'm using one from Moon Juice. It's really, really good. I'll have it linked down below along with all of my supplements. And I just mix it up a little bit and it tastes so good. It's a little bit tart, but you could add a little bit of honey in it as well. And I drink that like 1 hour before I go to sleep. And I have been having the deepest sleep. I've been dreaming more. I've been feeling so so recovered. I feel like the past month and a half, I have not been having good sleep. So that's been really helping me. I always make sure that I'm reading a few pages of my book at the end of the night. I'm also making sure that my phone is not in my room. I keep it outside. I just let it be. If you guys want a detailed sleep routine that helps me optimize my deep sleep, then let me know in the comments below. But definitely this is the time to optimize your sleep. Now, number 3 is to have different types of movement practices, because the truth is, we are cyclical human beings, especially if you're a woman and you cycle sync, then you know not every single week is the exact same. Life happens even if you don't cycle sync, and maybe you're just on birth control and you don't even go through the phases and you're like pretty stable in a sense. Life happens. We get stressed, we get overwhelmed, we have school, we don't have a lot of time, whatever it is. I think if we have almost like a little list of a few different types of movements that we can really cycle through, it will allow us to be consistent. And when we are consistent, we get results in our lives. And like for me, I mainly weight train in the gym, but I also do some Pilates classes, but I also really prioritize my hot girl walks. I make sure that I'm walking. I also make sure that I'm doing lots of stretching. I'll do at-home Pilates. I'll do all types of movements. So that way I am, if you were to zoom out, being consistent with movement and making sure that my body is in optimal shape. So don't be tied down to just one type of movement. Of course, we're going to prefer one over the other, but there's just gonna be days where maybe we're sore, we don't have a lot of energy. That's when it's important to think about, okay, what is a movement practice that I can do that is going to allow me to stay consistent even if I can't go into the gym and do this really hard workout. The next thing is work breaks. Now, you either might be working from home, maybe you work for yourself, or maybe you're in school, or maybe you have a corporate job, whatever it is, doing your absolute best to take a break from work is so important. This is why it's important. Because when you do not take a break from work, from doing something very, very repetitive, you are basically keeping your nervous system in this stress response of fight or flight. And this is not even to say that what I do for work, if I work a lot, it's like really stressing me out. It could be good stress in a way, but at the end of the day, my body needs time to rest and digest. It needs to come offline for a second. I need to breathe. I need to come back to my body. I need to go outside. I need to move. I need to stretch, especially for me working at home. My body needs a break. And just because you think your mental state of mind can sit here for 8 hours straight without taking any breaks, it doesn't mean that that is what your body can handle. And fortunately, but unfortunately, our bodies are very resilient. So when you put your body through high levels of stress, it will do its absolute best to hold on and work for you. When you're demanding of it to continue to stay awake and focus for 8 hours straight, like it's gonna do its actual best, because you are basically demanding of it to survive and stay awake and operate. And on one hand, that's amazing because our bodies will do so much for us. But the problem with that is there's going to be one day where your body starts speaking to you. And unfortunately, when our bodies start speaking to us, sometimes it's really hard to reverse the damage that has been done. Now, obviously it's possible to heal a lot of things, but it's better that we take on preventative measures like taking work breaks before we get to a point where our physical body demands us to take a work break in the form of being sick or being chronically ill to the point where now we can't go back to work for like months at a time. That's what happened to me with many different things in my life. And so I'm very, very aware that even if I feel like I can sit here and, study nonstop for 8 hours, it doesn't mean my body wants to do that. So for me personally, on my work breaks, what I like to do is usually cook myself a meal. I like to go out for a little bit of a walk. I like to listen to a podcast if I haven't been really like listening to anything and I've been like with myself a lot, or maybe I'll just go out and walk with nothing in my head, or maybe I'll have a little dance session. I like to move my body and dance. I also really love to go on my exercise ball. I have an exercise ball that I used to have when I used to personal train, and I like to do a back bend and just like lay on the ball and just stretch out my entire body. I like to do breath work meditation sometimes, or I'll even just send my friends some voice notes at this time, because I know all of my friends and I, like, we're always talking talking. And you know, throughout the day when I'm busy, I can't really be sending a lot of voice notes, but these are the times that I like to connect more with human beings because I haven't really been connected with a lot of people. Now, number 5 is having a social life. And this kind of connects back to what I was saying about taking work breaks. I think it is so imperative that we have some sort of social life. And this is the thing. You are gonna have times in your life where you're grinding a little bit more. You just do not have a lot of time for social life, and that's totally fine. But I think doing your best, and your best is gonna look different for you than it is for me, is really important because human connection is something that really actually keeps our life force energy alive. And I didn't really understand that when I was first going on my self-development journey and I was in self-isolation. I was working on myself, and mind you, I didn't have a lot of time for friends, and I just didn't have the capacity as well because I was in fight or flight. I was like just constantly controlling and stress ball. Like, it wasn't the best, but connecting with humans is something that we were meant to do in this life. And we don't always have to connect having a social life to any outcome, but I will say this, having a social life could actually be the answer to the stressful life that you might currently be living. And this is kind of what I mean. Let's say you're somebody and you're really grinding and you're working on your business, or you're working on school, or you have a million things like project, like you're just in that grind mode right now, and you're like, I can't have a social life and whatever. Now, depending on where you're spending your time is important, of course. Let's say you go out with your friends and you have like a decent social life, and I don't know, you're going to some sort of event or community thing, or you're going to coffee shops, you're just connecting with people, you're just having like little conversations here and there through a weekly basis. You might meet somebody who has an opportunity for you that would make your life 10 times more easier. Maybe you have a conversation with somebody that switches something on for you, or an idea on for you, or a business idea that you didn't think about that's gonna allow you to make more money in less time. Or maybe this person is connected to a big corporation that you have been busting your ass trying to get at. Or maybe you are somebody who feels really alone and you're single in your 20s and you're really upset and crying all the time and like, oh, life sucks, blah, blah, blah. If you had a social life, you might meet somebody who knows a friend of a friend, and that friend could be your new husband. You just never know. And bringing it back to your social life doesn't always need to have that outcome that I was saying, but essentially it still gives you a great outcome, and that just being you living life in the present moment, you releasing some stress and just getting out there in the world. Life is to be lived. Number 6 to help you glow up is to start meal prepping. Now, let's be careful when we say meal prepping, because I'm not talking about the like fitness bro, like prepping 6 meals, every single thing, counting things. Y'all know how I feel about that on my channel. Like, no, we don't do that. But thinking about your week ahead, maybe this is a Saturday or a Sunday for you, thinking about the next couple days, doesn't have to be every single day and doesn't have to be every single meal, but really preparing some meals for you, or at least some ideas, or, you know, going to the grocery store, making sure that you get your proteins for the week, making sure that you're stocked up on all of your meals that you want to either make in the moment, or even if you do wanna prep all of your meals, like whatever it is, especially if you have a busy life, you work 2 jobs, or you go to school or whatever, preparing yourself for amazing meals, not only is that going to keep you healthy, it's going to save you a lot of money. Because I don't know about you, when you don't have a plan for food, you tend to just get takeout every day, or if you don't even have that much money, then you're skipping meals and you're not fueling yourself, and then that's gonna affect your energy and your mental health, and then we're wondering why we feel like crap all the time. We have to prepare ourselves and our bodies, and our bodies deserve to be nourished. So do your best to prepare your meals more consistently throughout the month. Number 7 is weekly upkeeps, and this is just cleaning your space and also putting things away. Now, this is something that I have been really working on, is putting things back in their respective place when I take them out, or when I come back home, or I open something. I tend to just like put things everywhere, and then it just creates more clutter and more mess, but also clutter and mess in my mind. And you know, when I am trying to work, or I'm trying to come up with a video, or whatever it is that I'm trying to do, what I want to do is reduce the amount of clutter and chaos around me, not only in my mind, but just around me. And when my environment is not clean, instantly it makes me feel very off. So I try my best, and this is something that you can do too, is to put things back when you remove them from where it is that they are supposed to be put. And doing weekly upkeeps with your place. So like I said, I do a little bit of a tidy most nights out of the week. And this is just really just my dishes, because that's like the only thing that gets really dirty. But picking a day throughout the week where you're cleaning your space, whether that be deep cleaning a little bit more of your room or your apartment, whatever. Now, if you are somebody who has your entire apartment to yourself and you have a lot of things that you need to go through, whether that's like under your bathroom sink, you have a bunch of products, you have like your whole closet that still has summer clothes and everything like that, or a bunch of papers and everything. Take things in small steps. That's what I like to do. So let's say I choose, all right, in January, I'm going to pick one thing to basically work on every single day. And I'm gonna give myself an hour every night after I'm done work, and I'm gonna work on the closet, and then I'm gonna work under my bathroom sink, and then I'm gonna do all my little receipts and my whatever. And even when it comes to anything in your life on your laptop or anything that you need to organize, like take things slow, but do that for yourself, because what's gonna happen if you don't, it's just gonna pile up and it's gonna be harder for you to do it, and you will need to do it eventually. And again, we want to live in a space and in a mind where it's clean and it has a lot of clarity, because that's how we get what we want in our lives. That's where we have more motivation to be able to get up and take care of ourselves. And when we are in this energy, we are glowing up. Number 8 is weekly planning. If you do not plan, then you can plan to fail. Listen, grab yourself a planner. If you do not have one, you know what? I'm gonna send you love. I'm gonna send you love and compassion, but this is the time for you to get a planner. I personally love a physical planner. I get mine from Indigo Chapters, but it doesn't even matter. Just grab a 2024 planner and start writing out the things that you need to get done through the week and through the month. I promise you, not only, again, it will really clear that mental clutter in your head, but you'll actually be able to execute some of the things. And I even think about this when it comes to self-care, okay? If we wanna have self-care practices so that we can have like this glowed up, like, I don't know, look or feel for summer, when is it that we are going to do these specific self-care days? On Sundays usually is when I do it, but sometimes if I have a busy week, I'll make sure to move it to a Thursday or move it to whatever day that I need to, but I make sure that I'm writing that in my calendar. There are also things as a content creator that I need to be prepared for, and I need to work ahead of time. So I need a planner to write these things out. And if I do not do that, then I am not getting those videos out. I am not getting that content up. And then I'm not gonna be successful. I'm not gonna have the career, I'm not gonna have the life, and I'm not gonna feel glowed up. And personally for me, having a planner really helps me on the days where I do have a lot of projects and a lot of things going on. And you can think about this if you juggle 2 jobs or even 1 job, or you're a mom, you have a million things, or you're emotionally going through it, or you have exams or whatever. Every day you wake up kind of feeling like, oh my God, okay, I have so much to do. But if you have a planner and you know, okay, yes, is it true that I have 100,000 things to do? Yes. And my stress, is this a stressful time? Yes, we can acknowledge that. But because you have a planner, you can be a little bit more at ease, because you know that you have every single day planned out on all the things that you are going to do. So you don't just wake up every day feeling that you have to do absolutely every single thing for this chapter of your life right now. Because that's sometimes what it feels like. We're very aware of all the things that we technically have to do. But if we have a plan on which days we're gonna do everything, it does lower our stress a little bit, because it's like, okay, today I only have to do these things. And then tomorrow, yes, it's stressful. I still need to do these things, but at least it's not all on one day. Because when we feel like we have all the weight of the world on us, what we tend to do is procrastinate everything because we feel like it's way too overwhelming. So make sure that you have a planner, please. This is like a non-negotiable for this year. Every single person should have a planner. Number 9 is doing extra steps of your self-care. And I say this because it's the winter time. I just feel naturally we usually have a little bit more time in our weeks to be able to, okay, I'm gonna spend 5 extra minutes doing my scalp massage at nighttime and massaging oils into my hair, or, I'm gonna have a little bit longer of a self-care day because, I'm not really going anywhere and the sun sets at damn near 4:30 p.m. and like, I'm not really doing much anyways. So instead of spending all my time on TikTok and watching a million Netflix movies, I mean, you can still do that. You can play the Netflix in the back, but like, you know, I'm gonna take that extra step and it might take me 30 more minutes to do, but I'm gonna deep condition my hair. I'm gonna put it under a hot cap and I'm gonna really take that time with my hair or my skincare or whatever it is, my body care. I'm gonna start dry brushing more. I'm gonna really do that extra step, because realistically, doing these extra steps are going to get you those results that you really want in summer. Like, you want that great skin, you want that beautiful hair, you want that whatever it is that you really want to work on. And you know, some of these things take time, but over time, these small little things like doing the scalp massage or doing the dry brushing on your skin, you might not see immediate results, but give yourself some time and you will start to see yourself glow. And I do think there's definitely times in the summertime where I went 2-3 weeks without doing my hot caps and my deep conditioner on my hair because I was living a hot girl summer and I was going here, there, everywhere. So I just really like to capitalize on this time because I do find I have way more time to spend on myself, so why not do it now? Now, number 10 is supporting your gut health. And this is very unique to everyone, and not everyone needs to do really much for their gut health, depending on what it is that maybe you're struggling with. But I think for a lot of women, unfortunately, honestly, just like a lot of people in society, we struggle with a lot of gut health issues. So I would really think about, okay, what am I struggling with the most? And for instance, if you're struggling with bloating a lot, maybe this is the time that you're going to take to do the proper steps that you need to really heal your gut. Now, obviously, you can go to a doctor and get tests, or you can go to a naturopath. And I would suggest not spending your money on 100 million supplements and thinking that like they're all gonna just like change your gut health, because they might not. And I do think sometimes going to doctors, getting tests done, going to a naturopath could be beneficial, but maybe you don't want to do that. But you know, picking one thing out of the month or the next 3 months that you're going to try to support your gut health to see, does it really help, or is it just like not doing anything? For me personally, I am simply just adding in a probiotic every single morning for my gut health. I know that that's really good for my gut health. I also had IBD, which is irritable bowel disease, not IBS. It's a higher form of IBS. It is way freaking worse. And I had a long journey with that. I might make a video on that. And I was well versed in gut health and all these healing modalities because of that. I no longer have issues with that. And honestly, a lot of the things that I did to heal that before even trying to add in a probiotic was dealing with the stressors in my life. I had a lot of stressors, biopsychosocial stressors in my life that was really impacting my health. But I do find that there are a few things that have helped my gut health issues, even as I was going to the root causes of certain things in my life. And one of them was definitely supporting my gut with a probiotic, but also making sure that I was eating a lot more foods from home. That way I wasn't irritating my gut so much by having foods that were processed, highly processed, fried foods, things that had a lot of additives, synthetic sweeteners, and just things that really irritated my gut. I think eating from home, drinking enough water, working on my mental health, really lowering my stress, everything that I honestly said on this list were things that really lowered the inflammation in my body and allowed me to heal. Now, I will say this, I was on medication at one point to help me lower some of that inflammation because it got to a point where it was really bad. So I just wanted to say that, because if you have gut health issues, I don't want you to play around, especially if you have IBD. It's like not something to play around. You don't just like, okay, I'm just gonna like heal on my own. Like there's definitely a biopsychosocial component in which, again, I think I'm just gonna make a video, so let me know if you guys want. But I just think bringing your attention to maybe the gut health issues that you might be experiencing, if any, maybe you don't have any, but okay, maybe I'm gonna start taking a probiotic and maybe I'm gonna do that for 3 months and see how I feel. Or maybe I'm gonna start cooking more of my meals at home. Or maybe I'm gonna start drinking bone broth in the morning to help settle my stomach. Or maybe I'm going to potentially switch out foods in my diet, and it doesn't have to be restrictive and you don't have to be perfect and it doesn't have to be everything, but I'm only certain that you know there's a few things where maybe your stomach doesn't feel the absolute best when you've eaten them, and maybe finding alternatives to those things, making that, you know, crazy meal that really upsets your stomach, maybe trying to make it at home with different ingredients. Just small things like that can bring you a long way with your gut health. So those are all the things that I'm going to be focusing on and continuing to make a habit in my winter season so that I can be more glowed up in the summertime. Now, if you guys want me to make any more detailed videos on any of the things that I talked about, definitely let me know. And because you are a part of a community, because you are if you're watching my videos, let all the other girls know, or even guys, but mainly you guys are girls, what you guys are gonna be doing, what you're gonna be focusing this year or this winter, because I would love to know, and I wanna see if there's anything that you guys are doing that I haven't that I can maybe incorporate more into my life. So definitely let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.